Yeah. So before understanding today's concepts, let's try to recollect it what we were understanding yesterday quickly, and then we go ahead with today's object. Yeah, yesterday we were starting about the loops or iterations. Is what exactly the iteration and how the iterations are going to help in that, and what is the stand about the for loop options. Is what is a for loop and how do we use this for loop? Yeah, so those options and especially the for loop syntax, if you just remember that. Yeah, the for and then variable in, and then elements we need to define that number of elements, or you can define that the particular command output, which is have the multiple elements, or you can read the command line arguments which are passing through the script, that is dollar asterisk. Yeah, so that is a list of all the elements which we can define it. Then do done. That is a starting block and ending block representation. Then between that, you can define the statements which are required to execute it whenever it is executing this loop. But the point, one more understanding is, yes. So whenever it is iterating, that first element will be taken and it will be assigned to this variable. And this variable, you can use it within the script. Like that in the iterations, second variable, third variable, fourth variable. So that is going to use it one by one. If you have that like a range also we can define it, right? That is 1 to 10 or the number of times within the curly braces. Yeah, especially for loop, which we were understanding yesterday, and we were going through that some examples on the for loop as well as. Yeah, there is a printing that 5 elements and printing some strings here and running that some commands here with the for loop. And yes, using about for loop like defining that, yes, reading that all the files information. So list of all the elements. What is the main delimiter it is using is delimiter or separator. So that is a space it is using. Yes, space of that like first file, second file is going to reading, and we are just verifying about it is it a file or not. If it is a file, yes, file is available. Otherwise, file missing. And here we are trying to understand with the example, how do we read that command line arguments, the dynamically, whether he is passing the 2 or 5, or without passing the script also we are handling that. If he doesn't pass those any arguments, then we stop it here itself. If he passes arguments, yes, we use that arguments and we iterate it to perform the activity. And yes, so an example is multiplication table. How do we use it that? Yeah, so these are all some scenarios with the for loop and examples. We are understanding that. But next we have the one more type of the iteration which we can use in the shell. Not only the shell that is available in the C program or Java program or Python program. So if you have some program background, that is a while also. So how do I use this while? Yes, let's talk about that, the while operation. Are you clear about these points? Any queries, questions before moving to this while section? Just use the chart window and type quickly. If it is the concepts of the clear, type the clear. And if you have practiced, just mention that P as well as. Okay, use that C, P. C for the clear, P for the practiced. Or if you just only know the concept, then mention that to C. Type that whether it is a C or a CP. That is the clear the concepts and as well as you have practiced. Oh, I see that only C. Sushma only concepts understood. Sushma Usha also the concepts understood. What about others quickly? Don't take the time. You know it whether you had Suppose if you don't know both, suppose you don't understand the concepts and you didn't practice it. Then mention that N. Can you hear me, everyone? Quickly type the chat window. I'm not asking us to talk something, right? Just use it C or CP or N. Ajay, okay. What about others? Shiva, Venki. Okay, Venki has responded. Pavani has responded. Good. Yeah, be active. So don't give me this much time to wait for it. So if you are active before the system, then it is simple. One keyboard key you are going to use it, right? Or two keys maybe. Good. So let me continue. So I see that's everyone cleared the concept, but no one is practiced. But anyway, the weekend take it the time and try to complete the activities. Yeah, let me start about that understanding the while loop. Yes, normally, how do we implement the while loop in the normal programming approach? Let me take it yesterday where we were using. Yeah. So normally while loop, how do we use it that? So while and in the parenthesis, we will define the condition. So how we are having the if condition definition the same way. Here we define the while and here if the condition is true, then statements which are required to execute it. Until if this condition is true, then these statements will be executed. And once this is a false, then it is going to exit from this loop. This is a straightforward syntax, no confusion, nothing. So you are iterating that with while until this condition is true. Yes, until this condition is true, it will be executed. Once this condition is false, it will be exited. This loop. But in the shell scripting, what is the syntax of it? For the while. Yeah, the while and then condition, we implement it. But we don't use it curly braces here as we are understanding already in the for loop do done, that is a starting and ending block, and here we can define the statements. If this condition is exit status, if it is a 0, that is a true, or boolean pointer if it is a true, that is fine. That means if the condition is either true or exit status is a 0, then it is going to executing that this block of the statements.
Sir, after condition, we use the semicolon, right? In while loop in syntax in shell programming.
No, not required. Semicolon, that is in the Python program which we use it. That is as indentations pointer.
In
So
bash
here,
also, we try to use in semicolon, sir, while after the condition.
Not required.
Okay.
Maybe like I'll come back. In some cases we use it, but not required normal default syntax model pointer.
Oh, okay, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Suppose if you are using this any delimiters, that is reading that the line based or reading that words based or characters based, then we use it the colons. So that is on the basis of the condition model, it is going to changing. Which you are implementing the condition, it is changing the syntax. But while is direct straightforward, while condition do and done.
Okay, sir. Understood.
Okay, let me show the some examples. Yeah, so what is going to do that? Can you analyze the script? Take the 30 seconds and analyze it.
First,
Yeah.
n is setting as 1, n takes 1.
Okay.
Then it goes to while condition. It checks as $n means it access 1. Then it 1 less than or equal to 5.
That is true.
Is true. So
Yes.
it prints welcome one time.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
n
If
is
it is 4.
increased, n plus that one, n is increased. So
Yeah,
n
that is increment of 1.
2, and again goes to while condition 2 less than or equals to 5. So it is true. So it prints welcome 2 times. Then again n is increased like that up to 5.
Until 5 times only.
Until 5 times it reiterates.
Exactly.
Okay. Is it going to print the 5 or is it going to print up to 4?
Up to 4, sir. 4. 5 is not less than 5 only. That is equal. Up to 4. 1 to
Less
4.
than or equals to means 5 also valid, no?
Not less than or equal. That is less.
LE means less than or equal.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That is true. 1 to 5, sir.
Yes, that is 1 to 5.
5.
That is here it is used to less than or equal to. That is important. LT would have used LT, that is for only less than. That means until the 4 it is going to executing that whenever it reaches the 5. But 5 is less than 5. No, that is false. Then it is going to execute that. Yeah, so this is less than or equals. Or LT means that is less than. As we are understanding GT, GE, LT, LE. Not equals NE. Equals, which you can use it double equals for the numbers. Yeah, so it is almost, I mean, if you just observe that yesterday for loop which you are understanding is the same thing, right? Is it the same thing or not? Yeah, here in the for loop, if you just observe that the differences understanding, you need to define the number of elements. Or you can define the range also, double curly braces 1 dot dot 5. That means 1 starting and 5 ending up to that. Or you need to define the elements like this. But here condition evaluation, that is is it less than, greater than, or is it, I mean, we were talking about the operators, right? Operator based conditions. If we have that, then use it the while loop. Use the while loop. Here in the if also we are talking about the same model, conditions implementation. So same like this, the while we are doing is nothing but in which context we use the while, in which context we use it. For loop. For loop, if I'm having some number of elements, yes, with the range, then I can use the for loop. But while when do we use it is, yes, we were understanding operators, that is the logical and or operators, relational operators, Boolean operators, string operators, file operators. So if you have that the requirement conditions implementation, that is using operators, here which operator we have used, less than or equal to. Yeah, output is the same, above statement about for loop, and this one, the both are the same, but here this is the condition based statement evaluation, and that is elements based evaluation. Number of elements it is executing, that's all. Are you clear about this statement? The difference between the for loop and while loop? Type the C. I'm going to connect it to the system. Let me 92.168.33.10.
Sir,
Yeah.
one small doubt. Can we have two VMs with the same IP?
No.
Okay. Means if we want to three VMs, then 192.168.33-10.1.11.12 like that we can take.
Yes. Yes. Like that, you need to use it. You should not use it all the systems with the same IP address and the same network.
Okay.
So actually, that is a network representation 192.168. That is a network ID. In that network ID, the IP address must be different. If it's a different network ID, you can use it. I mean, anyway, network ID is changing, is nothing, that the IP address is changing. That is a different story. But if you have the different private networks with the same CDR, you can have it. But within the same network, the IP address must be the same, must be different.
Okay.
Is it clear?
Okay. Clear.
Yeah, good. Yeah, let's go for that. The while iterator. Ajay, are you clear about this? Colon is not required. I mean, so maybe some use cases we use the colon, but the actual syntax point of view, this is a condition just to define it. And then here block representation do done. That is the starting block and ending block. But if you are using the Python, then you need to use it indentation point of view, the colon. That is a starting block.
Yes, sir. Yes, understood. Thank you.
Yeah, good. So let me execute it. Output we see that's the same. There is no difference at all. But understand that when, in which context we use the for loop and in which context we use the while loop. Yeah, yesterday also with the for loop, the same output which we have seen. But this is today the while we are talking about it with the conditional based. Initial variable we have taken. But here also, if you just observe that the script, so starting variable equal to 1. That means we have taken separate variable, we have initialized as a 1. And we are trying to increment it one by one. This is nothing but n equal to, normal in the program, how do you do that? N equal to n plus 1, we do that. Suppose if I go back to the here, suppose n equal to 1, I have declared. Now I need to increment it. Increment, if I'm doing, is nothing but arithmetic operation I'm performing that, right? N plus 1. Suppose n equal to $n plus 1. But is it going to take me about it? No, it is not taking that. Directly, as we are talking the arithmetic operation, you cannot use it directly like this, right? You need to use it dollar within the parenthesis. But this command output, so that is which is written that one whatever we are talking that is not found. It is not able to perform the arithmetic operation. What we can do is here we need to use it actually EXPR, right? EXPR or BC, basic calculator. So what is the one more way which we can do is we can use it that arithmetic operator within the double parenthesis. Within the double parenthesis, if I use it, now I don't see any error. Then what is the value of this n now? That is which has been taken that one more. Maybe let me run it one more time. Yeah, now it has been done 2. Now if I run it one more time, and if I try to print it, the 3. Regarding the point of it, here I didn't use it any XPR and I didn't use it any BC, that is a basic calculator. So if you have this the directly to perform that, the arithmetic operators, one more notation what we have is, you can use it, that arithmetic operator within the double parenthesis. First, what it is doing is, the first one, it is saying about it, taking about it this value and 1 is not found. Then again we are doing that one more parenthesis. Then what is that meaning? So from this again 1 it is taking that and it is performing that operation, and it is going to, as this dollar notation, it is going to assign that value to the n variable. So are you clear about this point? N equal to n plus 1 normal in the program. But here, yes, dollar within that double curly braces, use that, that's the arithmetic operator. So is it clear at this point? What about this line? Normally with the XPR, we need to do that, arithmetic operators. But this is another simple notation. Okay, the same one, if you just try to understand it, yes, you can do in this way also. So what about this one here? Normally this condition here we are using less than or equal to, right? Less than or equal to is that actually shell operator. This is the shell operator. But I don't want to use a shell operator. I would like to use it less than symbol. So less than or equal to symbol. LE is nothing but less than or equal to. But I would like to use it normal notation. I don't want to use it LE or GE or GT. Instead of using that, if you like to use that the symbol notation, yes, again you can see that this arithmetic operator we are performing that. That is relational, okay, the relational, but at the as a numeric value is performing that. But here we are not using LE or LT. We are using about a programming model. Less than or equal to, that is a C programming model, Java programming model, or Python model. But shell model, LE is the less than or equal. But I don't want to use the shell model. I would like to use the programming model. Then you can wrap up this statement with a double parenthesis. Output is the same, no issues. That's there is no difference at all between this one and this one. But this is the generic programming structure, and this is about shell condition structure. Now understand the difference between these two? The importance of double parenthesis. So what is the purpose of the double parenthesis? Is it is going to convert that statement into normal programming instead of directly using the shell interpreter. Shell interpreter can understand only this one, but shell cannot understand this one directly. This statement, if you use it directly, it doesn't understand it. Then you can drop up with a double parenthesis, then shell can understand that. Using about, this is the generic interpreter, it is going to applying that, and it evaluates the code. Are you clear this point? Understanding the when do we use the while? That is the condition based statements. If you have, then think it about the while. Or if you have the number of elements and iteration, then think it about the for. That is the main. But within that the while, whenever you are using the condition based statements, or within that while, if you would like to use it arithmetic operators, then what you can do that is you can use it directly, that arithmetic operators wrap up that statement with double parenthesis. The output is the same. You can run it and you can check it. Output will be the same, but yes, that is the point. Are you clear these points? The basic one, yeah. Sorry, do you have any question or is it?
No question, sir. It is clear.
Okay, I didn't hear the properly the statement. I thought you were asking something. Okay, good. Nice. Thank you. Now, let's talk it that file management activities with the while loop. Yes, whenever we are working with the shell, important thing is working with the file operations as well as. So how do we read that all the lines in a file? Suppose you have the one file which contains all the server IP addresses, and you need to read it one by one IP address, and you need to connect to the server, and you need to do some metrics collection or some files copying or activities, whatever it is. But the important is IP addresses are available in the file. You need to read the IP address one by one from the file. Suppose here in the for loop, we were understanding that, okay, you can define that IP1, IP2, IP3, IP4 like that. But this is not recommended approach. The IP addresses, if you have that, so maybe today we have the 3, maybe tomorrow 10, maybe which we need to apply that's for the next 20 servers. So instead of managing directly here, what do we do? That is, we will define the IP addresses list, which are required to automate it, everything in one of the file. But how do I read the file line by line? How do I iterate it? Yeah, so those kind of activities to perform it, the while is recommended. If you just observe that, that's one of, yes, that's how to read the file and how to print the lines of a file. Yeah, so here the file has been declared. This is the file we are going to read it. That, or you can change it any file name. Yes, which file do you want to read it? Yes, you can define it. And while do done and printing the line. But how do I read the line? So this is the statement which is going to help you. But what about this IFS? Actually, that's we said that. Sorry.
The DNM, DNS, I think so. Domain name systems related.
No, it is not that exactly. So here we say that in the Linux, maybe somewhere it is represent, but in the Linux, the shell point of view, FS for field separator. That is a field separator. Or suppose if you'd like to know the full information of that, IFS in the shell. Yeah, IFS is a special variable in the bash which is used to control the field separator for hyphenation and line parsing. Yeah, by default, IFS is set to a space. So normally yesterday we were talking about the for loop. For loop it is using the space, right? First element space, second element space, third element space. That means IFS internally it is using that the field separator is working internally. That field separator on space by default. Or you can use it the tab, or you can use it the line, new line characters, which means that fields in a string are separated by any combination of these characters. Yes, if you have the string you need to separate it. That is IP1 space, IP2 space, IP3 space, like that. That means you are using the field separator space option over there. Suppose if I go to the etc password file, what is the field separator it has been used here? What is the field separator it has been used here?
Delimiter.
Already we discussed this one in the Linux commands.
Delimiter.
No. So here the string is separated. Suppose one user, if you take it about it, something Apache user or Vagrant user. That Vagrant user is user ID : and then encryption model, password encryption, colon, user ID, colon, group ID, colon, some comment here, colon, home directory, colon, type of the shell. It is separated with colon. Yeah, so here, I mean, that is on the basis of about our requirement, we can use the field separators. But default, normally if you open the file and if you add some content and if you use it, that is line. I mean, if you are using that enter keyword, is nothing but that is a new line. Or if I use it in the keyboard, tab is nothing but tab is a separator over there. Or if I use that space bar is nothing but space is the separator over there. Yeah, these are all the defaults, but we can use it about our model also. Like I can use, suppose if I'm defining that some file, the my string should contain as a field, suppose if you take it the same line, maybe if you are doing that about our own implementation, reading about this kind of the string, maybe instead of using that colon, we can use the field separator hash, right? So this is on the basis of about our requirement whenever we are reading the files. So in that file, that string, that's a line which you are reading that. So which field separator do you want to apply that? Default, it takes about the space, but on the basis of the requirement, we can apply the field separators by using what is the statement that we are understanding now? In the shell, IFS. Are you clear the statement? Now, using IFS, how do we read a line? Suppose you have the file and this file is the input. So while loop is going to read the file content. We know about it, less than is that input of the file. Yes, this file, whatever the content we have, that is etc result.conf file or etc password or any file you can use that. So that file content we are passing to the while and we are applying that the field separator. So that is reading the line. That is IFS equal to read. Read is nothing but line. And that line we are assigning to the variable, that is, this is the variable name. So you can use it any name for this. Yes, line is the variable name here. That means first line which will be assigned to this variable. Once it is done, second line if the file contains, which will be assigned to this variable. Then next iteration, third line of this file is going to read it and it is going to assign to this variable. And you can use it to this variable in the loop. Do you want to print it or do you want to use it that line some other operation? That is a later story. But how do we read the lines from the file? So this statement IFS equal to read. And that line, whatever we are reading from the file, this is the file input. And we are going to reading that line and we are assigning to this variable. So variable name, you can give it any name, but this is the statement which is helping. How do you read a line in a file? With the field separator. Field separator equal to read -r. That is helping to read a line. So let me apply it. Yeah, in interviews they will ask you that how do you read a line using the how do you read a lines in the shell scripting. So here what is that the statement we are using is So this is the file we are passing this as an input to the while loop. And IFS statement read -. So this statement is going to read the line, first line from the file first time, and it is going to ascend to the line, and we are printing this. Next, second line, third line, as a number of lines which you have in this file, the number of times it is going to iterating that. If the file lines contains in this file are the 1000, then 1000 times it is going to iterating that. So understand all these concepts, but but first of all, let me show that what is the content we have in that file. etc result.conf file. So this is about DNS, the configuration file. Name server details we'll be having. The name server. So whenever we are using about it, suppose ping google.com. That google.com is going to converting into that IP address, right? Suppose if I use it ping -c1 with Google. So on the network, it is not going to use the google.com directly. It is going to use the IP address. But how it is going to get that IP address of this google.com? So it is going to use this name server. So first about our request will be submitted to this name server, and the name server to this name server is going to connecting to the DNS and getting that google.com, what is the IP address is available, that IP address will be written. So all these points we will talk it in the cloud whenever we are working with the DNS configuration with Route 53, record sets mapping. This will come back more into that section. But this file contains name server detail, that is the DNS server details. So that lines we are reading that. So this is a first line, this is a second line, third line. So what are the lines are available? But we are doing that just reading the lines. So we are not working with this file, but just this file content, how do we read it? That is the object. Now if I run that script, what it is saying that's hyphen or command not found. That is something wrong with that. Let me while read hyphen out. So sometimes whenever you copy the files, the content, it's going to have the issues with hyphen. Just remove it and retype it. And let me rerun it. Oh, there is an issue with hyphen R. It is not accepting the syntax, but it should be okay. Or let me remove these double quotations. Maybe this is file reading some problem also. Whenever you copy that some text into that shell script files, sometimes hyphen options are not going to work with that, and double quotations doesn't work it. So just remove that and retype it and test it. Before it was working, no issues, the script, but that's now it is not working is nothing but something syntax issue. Or maybe that IFS statement has been changed. The hyphen R is not accepting that. Let me try to. Why it is not taking the hyphen R? Maybe it has been changed. Let me try to get that. Read line in the bash. IFS equal to read hyphen R underline. This is correct only, which are defined.
I think before read some space is there. Equal to read between space is there.
Okay. Let me good guess, but just let me check it.
Equal to read between space.
Okay, let me check it now. Oh, good. But before it was working, yeah, maybe while preparing that it was okay. While preparing this one, maybe it was a syntax issue. Okay, good. Anyway, good guess. Now, yes, it is showing about it, the line by line reading that and printing that. But what is that option? Look at the file if you go to that. Yeah, so the read -r and with the line. So the line, okay, that's you can give it line or some XYZ, you can give any variable, and this is kind of the variable. What it is doing is, so from this file line, it is going to reading and it is going to assign to this variable. This variable, you can use it in the script. So on that line, what you would like to do that activities you can perform it here. So are you clear about that? How do you read a line?
Sir, what about this last line? Done less than double quotation $5. What it means?
So this is suppose, what is the meaning of that? This one cat and if I give that etc result.conf file.
That prints that file content. Means
How
that
it is going to printing that? That means indirectly it is going to read the file, right? That is input. The file content it is taking to the cat, and cat is going to print the line by line. But normally, as if you remember about it, the which we are trying to understand, that standard in, standard out, standard errors, less than, redirection to the file that is a greater than, redirection with appending that is double greater than. Do you remember that those file
yes.
operators?
Yes, sir.
So what is the less than there?
It means if we want to enter some text to some file, we use that
Standard in, that is the input you are taking that. Yes, this is the content you are taking to this cat command. But this one we don't need to explicitly use it. If you are using the cat and file name is nothing but internally, this is the meaning of it.
Yes. Okay.
So like that, but now to this while loop, I need to pass the file input. The file I have declared here. But that file output, how do I pass it? Yes, I am defining the file and I am going to give that this file content to this while loop. So now while is going to read this file. That is the meaning of it. Got the point?
Means after one iteration of coming out of the while loop, again it is going to read the file.
It will load it. It will load it at the same time.
Okay. Okay. At a time it loads and afterwards. Okay.
At a time it loads into the.
Okay.
So here first the file contents are being loaded and then the loop is applied, sir.
Yes, correct, exactly. So it is going to read that entire the file content and it stores into the memory and it is going to apply that as a number of lines as we have defined this IFS statement. So is it required the line based iteration or is it required the next some more options will locate. So on the basis of this condition, this is kind of the condition. But reading the line, how do I define it or how do I use the condition? So use it IFS statement equals and read -r. So it loads up the content as a number of lines, number of times. It is kind of indirectly or passing that number of elements. But what are the elements? Lines, number of lines which are there in the file. That is you are passing that. So in the for loop, which you are trying to understand, 1, 2, 3, 4 are commands passing with the space option. But here we are passing the file and that file, how many number of lines are there, that number of lines point of it, we are iterating that. But how do I pass the file? This is my while loop. But how do I pass the file to the while loop? The while has to read that, the input of the file content. So this is the notation. Is it clear?
Clear, sir.
Okay, this is about reading the line. Next one is, if you would like to read the words, so the words is nothing but that is a space is the delimiter, right? The field separator is the space. So what it is doing is, so it is going to load the file content by the while loop. By default, yes, it is going to read the line, but in that line, I need to read the fields on the base of the field separator. Let me try to run it and let's observe that output, what it is doing exactly. So here we are applying that not on the line based, that is a field separator by using the space. Yeah, so here IFS equal to what we have defined, space is the delimiter. And we are reading and assigning to the variables. First field, second field. So that means the first word before the first word is to the field 1, second word is to the field 2, field 3. Like that you can read the fields of the line. Now let me run it and execute this and then we can understand that. Yeah, what is the actual content we have is content, if you observe that result of conf file. Okay, here first which we have the generated by network manager. Second line one is name server and IP address of that. Then options, then this is another one, options, this is another one. So now we are reading the words of the line. Fields, I need that some fields in a file. Suppose I need that the first field and second field, or third field, or the fourth field. Then how do I read the particular field of a line? Yeah, now if you see this is the script output. Field 1 in the first line, what is the field 1? This is the hash. Hash is the field 1. And the field 2, after that, what is the delimiter we have used, or what is the field separator we have used? Space. So whenever it is applied that the field separator on this line, we have the total 4 fields in this line. This is the one field, hash. Second one is generated. Third field is by. Fourth field is a network manager. But we are trying to print F1 and F2. That is a field 1, hash, and field 2, yes, generated by the network manager. Here we have this remaining stuff. Anyway, it is having the only field 2 remaining thing, it is applying to the field 2. Now field 1 is here in the second line, name server, and the field 2 is IP address. And in the third line, field 1 is options, field 2 is, so the single request open. So particular field of a line, if you would like to read it, then how do we read it that? So IFS equal to the space, then read -r, that reading the line. Now, so it is going to separating that, right? That separated fields we need to read it before we are reading entire line to the variable. So here we are reading the line we are assigning to this variable. But here I need to, I'm using the field separator, the space, I need that the field 1 and field 2. Yes, that is field 1, field 2. If you need that field 3, then space F3. Then if that line contains any field 3, then to that variable will be assigned. And we are trying to print that the field 1 and the field 2 are here. Is it clear about that? How do we read a fields in a file?
Yes, sir.
Suppose let's take that example. We have that etc password, just which we are talking about it. etc the password. Now suppose I need to read some fields, like some information about username. I need to read it. That means first a field, and as well as something about home directory. I need to read it. Suppose vagrant user. If you just observe that, so this field and this home directory or user ID or any field, that's about your choice. But how many fields are there? This is the field 1. This is a field 2. This is a field 3. This is a field 4. Field 5, which is empty. Field 6. Field 7. Total 7 fields are available. One line contains 7 fields. But field separator, what it is having? Colon. Before, in the previous file, we have applied the field separator on the space. But this file contains the field separator with a line contains set of attributes. First attribute, second attribute. But we are saying that field, first field, second field, third field. So how do we apply this one? I need to read that username and some other fields. I need to print that user ID, or I need to print that group ID, or I need to print that user home directory or type option which is using that or which has been assigned to the user. This is all important. So files you are reading, okay, either reading the lines or reading the fields. But etc.result.conf file contains, this is the format. It is having the space is the field separator. This file is having the space is the field separator. But if you go to the DTC password, this is a user database file, and how it is managing that user database file or user related all the attributes with a field separator, that is colon. Now I need to apply, suppose if I need that any fields in this file, I need to apply the field separator colon. But if I'm going to read that any fields from this file, I need to apply the field separator space. Or maybe if you are having that another file which is having the field separator hash, maybe you need to apply that hash is the field separator out there. That is on the basis of the file content. If you would like to read that in the file, the line, particular fields, we need to use that IFS with the field separator. IFS with empty, what it is doing? Reading the line. IFS with the space, that is helping that reading the line, and with the field separator, that is space. So first field to this variable, second field to this variable. Now if we just observe that about our etc password file, yeah, what is the field separator we need to use it here? Colon we need to use it. Field delimiter or separator, IFS equal to colon, we need to apply that. Yes, IFS equal to colon. Then read -r. But whenever we apply the field separator on that line, how many fields we are getting? We are getting 7 or 8 fields, right? Yeah, the first field is user. Second field is, now you can define the variables. It is going to assign to this variable. Okay, in that line, first field is user. So it is going to assign to the user variable. Second is encrypted password. Third one is user ID. Fourth one is group ID. Fifth one is description of that user. Sixth one is home directory of that user. And seventh one is shell type of the user. Yes, which fields that you need it, you can. Now it is like as a assignment, right? Assigning. First field to the user variable, second field to that. Yes, in that line, second field. After applying the field separator, it is going to assign to that npass. And now if you would like to read these variables, I would like to print it. The only user IDs which are having the greater than 999. Greater than 999 is app IDs, right? We are talking that in the user management. System user IDs, application login user IDs. Application login user IDs are going to have the greater than equal to 1000. but remaining less than 1000, they're all the system accounts. Yeah, now you need to read it from the etc password file. How many app user IDs are there, or how many system user account IDs? Then you can use the condition. Yeah, the user ID. User ID is going to return that, right? If the user ID is greater than or equal to 500, 500 or 1000, that is, you can apply that on the basis of the requirement. If the user ID is greater than 500, that means in that line, third field, we are reading that. So if it is greater than 500, what we are doing that? We are trying to print it. User, yes, this is the user and his user ID. Assigned home, this is the home, which is we are reading that in that line. Assigned home directory with the shell. This is the shell type of the shell. So the user IDs which are having the greater than 500, it is trying to print this message. First, this is the user and he is having this user ID, and we have assigned this home directory with the type of the shell is this. That is, we are getting the output. Yeah, file is we are reading from the etc password and we are passing that's as an input to this while. But from this file, what of the lines we are reading, we are applying that each line with a field separator, that is a colon. And we are reading and we are assigning all the fields which are available. You need to analyze it first, the file. If you don't know the file, then you cannot understand this. Right? That file, the line, what is the format that is having, or what is the delimiter that we need to use it. If you just observe that, etc_result.conf file, if I apply the colon, then we don't see that any fields over there. Because there is no colon in the fields, in the lines to separate it. If I apply that say etc_result.conf file with the colon, then empty output. So that's file format. But what about the second file, etc password? What is the delimiter? There is a colon. So we are applying the colon and we are reading that all the parameters. Yes, first field, second field, third field, on the basis of that line, what are the fields it is returning, and you can define the variables over here, and you can use it these variables within the iteration. Let me run it and let's see the output of this. Now, what is the output we are expecting is greater than 500 all the users. The user ID which is having the greater than or equal to, yeah, greater than or equal to, we are applying that 500. Are you clear these points? The very, very important, understanding all these things. Overall, if you just observe that, how do you read a lines of the file and printing that, or using that, the line, or within the line, if you would like to read particular fields, then you can apply the field separators. Either space is that field separator, or on the base of the file, which we have that etc password example, that is colon. Yes, now it is listing that all the users who are having the user ID greater than or equal to 500. Yes, these are all the users who are having the user ID greater than 500. Yeah, user, yes, username and user ID assigned, and this is the home directory of the users with this is the type of the shell. Are you clear this point? The very important of the while. For loop to handle all these cases, that is a little bit tricky. We cannot do that because here we are applying the condition with the IFS based, or here we are applying that some that like a relational operators condition. Yeah, if you have this kind of the conditions, we go for that while. Are you clear these points? IFS with the statements, the field separator with the line. Yeah, this is the line representation. Yeah, actually this space is required. And here it is the space, and here it is colon. On the base of the file which you are reading, you can apply that, the separators. Are you clear about that point? Type that clear, I mean that quickly, that is clear. I would like to see that everyone responds, or if you don't know, yes, or you didn't understand it, then type that the not clear NC. If you say that NC, then go ahead and after the video is uploaded, go ahead one more time and study or review that 2 or 3 times until getting that at that point. Okay, good. Yeah. So some more examples. Yes, like these are all straightforward, but anyway, let me talk it these examples also. Yeah, this is also like as a less than based the condition evaluation. So index variable initially. So any iteration, if you're talking about it, starting and ending is important, right? Suppose if I'm giving that the file input is nothing but that is number of lines. First line is the input, and until that the last line it comes, yes, it is going to iterating that. So iterations, if you talk it, the basic input is what is the first starting point. Then when do you want to end it? Until the elements completed. But what is that? Yes, do you want to specify the number? Yes, number is specified that. Or dynamically the file contains maybe 100 lines, 1000 lines. That is yes, number of lines based, it is going to use it. Yeah, now the what is the output? Can you give me that quickly? This one already you know it. This is normal, the above some example which we had it. But try to analyze it and just take the 30 seconds and let me know that the output of this command.
Five times it prints creating project 1, project 2, project 3, like that, and it make directory.
Created directory in the project, yeah, up to 5 times. Creating
5
project
times.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that.
5.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it is going to creating in the temporary folder 5 directories with the name as project-1, project-2, project-3, like that's until 5. Yes, 5 directories to creating that in the temporary folder. But here this is the auto increment. So index plus plus. Normally in the programming language, maybe we have high idea about it. I plus plus we use it. Here like is the variable plus plus. That means indirectly it is like as index equal to index plus 1. But it should be in the, we are using that as a programming model, it has to be enclosed within the double parenthesis. That is important. If you miss this parenthesis, then it throws syntax error. Let's run it quickly. You can run it, you can try it with this script. I have shown nothing. But all the use cases, try to get rid of that. That is my intention here. Otherwise, I can say that like a simple syntax and 1 or 2 examples and we can close it that. But if you go for the more examples, then that's more the understanding. Yes, it is creating in the temporary folder. Yes, those are 5 directories. Fine, good. So let's move to the next example and analyze it. Yeah, now let me know the answer with this. Take that 30 to 45 seconds of the time. That slowly, so far whatever we discussed, try to apply all the things and let me know the answer. Pink it that script. Whatever it has been there, everything you know it. But analyzation I need it. You know it while syntax. You know it that conditional statements. You know it the read operation.
Sir, here, what is there in that variable dollar correct?
Variable dollar.
Yeah, that is a syntax error. Variable dollar correct.
Error, sir. Dollar correct is, we don't know what is there in dollar correct. No, sir.
Exactly. Before while condition.
Before while it's not being initialized, no? How can we compare that with some string?
Yeah.
With the correct.
Good point. Yes, good catch it. But already this point I mentioned somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, that analyzation is correct. But the shell representation point of view, so what it is going to do internally, I had it already, which we had it.
I think enter your name will be the output, I think so.
Okay. Yeah, after entering the name.
It's going to read that.
Is name correct? We give input yes or no like that, I think. Why?
No. Enter your name is dollar name. Means it is
correct.
going to read that name. Name is correct. It's going to print enter your name. Once the name is entered, it's going to give the name is the name correct is the message is going to be printed.
Correct. Okay. Next.
But I'm missing that point. Why that? How can I get the dollar correct without initiating? That I'm unable to
Without,
get.
Good.
yeah.
Good analysis,
Initiating
but
any.
yeah, let me explain it. So
Sir,
whenever
okay.
yeah,
Continue.
whenever it is loading into the memory, executing the statements, yes, first while okay, it is going to load this variable. But variable we are reading here, but it is not yet defined or declared. But without defined, if you are going to read the variable, as we are understanding that is the empty string contains default empty value. If it is a C program or if it is a Java program, without declaring, if you try to read the variable, it throws error. But in the shell script, already I mentioned this statement in the variable declaration. If you trying to read the variable which is not defined, then it is going to assign the default value, that is empty string. Now this dollar correct initially empty, but empty is not equal to y. Is it true or false? Yes, empty is not equal to y, right? Empty
Correct.
string
Correct.
is not equal
Correct.
to y. That is true.
Yes.
Then it is entering into this statement. Okay, it is asking that enter about your name. Whatever the name you enter that is going to assign to this variable. Then again, we are reading that. So is the name correct which you have entered? Yeah, now you are going to enter one more. Suppose if you say that no, then it is coming to here. Okay, no is not equal to y. No is not equal to y. Yes, that is true. Then it is coming again entering that about you because you said that incorrect here, right? No is nothing but incorrect. Suppose again, okay, you have entered the name. Now it is asking that is the name correct? Yes, now you type that y. Yes, now it is coming to here. Y is not equal to y.
No.
Y is equal to y. Y is not equal to y. That is a false.
Yes.
False is nothing but it is going to ending that. Is it clear?
And
Let's see.
one more doubt, sir. In general, if we consider string in any other programming language, every string is going to end with a null terminator to represent the end of the string.
Yes.
So the
There
same
is
case
a
is being represented over here, or is there anything else?
no,
which
there
is
is no null option. By default, it is going to use the empty string. That is 0 character
okay.
string.
So how we'll encounter the end of string, sir?
End of the string, that is double quotation. If you use the double quotation and whatever you are defining that will be understood as a string. Suppose like to define the string, suppose variable name is a variable. So you have the something like a rise and shine. So this is the statement ending. This is a complete variable value which are assigning to this name variable. Is it clear? Is it that which you're asking?
Rise and shine is being read, sir. So how the interpreter is going to know that end is being represented with the help of double quote?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. In normal programming, we used to have an extra character, something like null terminator. If it is uncounted, will come out of that.
No, that is
For C.
Yeah, C++, that is a different criteria. That is correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
that is
Shell,
yeah.
But in
See,
Java, it's a different thing, sir.
yeah, every program.
I just want to know how it is followed in this shell. That's all. It's clear, sir.
yeah, it is just like a double quotation is the main starting point and ending point. So all the characters which we have defined here between these two, it is going to consider as the length of the string.
Yes,
Suppose
understood.
maybe you are using some null keyword. With that, I'm having the confusion with that. Suppose if normally in the program, if I don't want to assign any value, but if I would like to declare the variable, but I don't want to assign any value, then we use it null like this. So what is the meaning of this one is interpreter, that C program interpreter or Java program interpreter can understand, okay, a variable is declared, but it is having the null value. But in the shell, how it is going to use it is, so this is the notation, that is an empty value. Maybe you are talking that null. Is it that you got it? Is that which you are asking?
Not exactly, sir. But it's a different scenario for other programming. But here the doubt is cleared, sir.
Okay,
Actually.
fine, good. Yeah. So this is the representation of starting characters and ending characters of the string. Okay, now let me take this block of the code which we are trying to understand it, and we'll observe how it is going to respond. So first, whenever we are running the script, that what is the variable name? Yeah, correct variable is empty. Empty is not equal to y. That is a true. Oh, this is something a syntax issue. Let me check it. It is something.
Sir, after that operator, we can expect a space.
After the operator?
Yeah. That's fine, sir.
Yeah. Okay, it is asking that integer. Oh, okay, we have used a not equal to, right? This is the string format string. How do we use it? Not equals, we can use it, this notation. Or Yeah, the first there's a empty value. Empty value, yes, whenever it is empty is not equal to y. Yes, that is correct. And it is entered and it is asking the name. Okay, I entered the RNS. Then again it is asking that. Is RNS correct which I have entered? But I would, okay, RNS, I wrongly entered that. I need that RNS tech. Then I say that no. Then it is again entering that. First you entered the name and you are saying that is not correct. Then again it is asking that enter the name. Now I am going to enter the RNS tech. Now it is asking that is RNS correct? RNS tech correct? Yeah, now I am okay with that. If I say that yes, then what it is saying that it is ending that. So until that why you enter it, it is going to keep on reprocessing the loop, right? Are you clear about this one?
Yep, so clear.
Okay, good. Now can you analyze it and can you give me that output? What will do this script?
Generally, the script is giving
Nullifying
two
the while.
messages. One is Google still up and the other is
Up.
down. So according to this condition,
Sleep 5 means is nothing but fight up to wait for 5 seconds.
5 seconds it is going to.
Yeah.
Correct. But what is the condition of that while?
Nullify. The Google.com.
We are pinging that Google.com, sir.
Yeah. So
we are
if
using
this,
the ping command.
yeah. So here, which condition it is going to use it? It is not like as a true or false. It is going to use it exit status. If the ping command returns that exit status as a 0, then it will enter into this loop. That is a true meaning. Yes, the Google is up and it is waiting for the 5 seconds. And again, it is going to check in that is reachable or not. So if it is reachable, yes, it is waiting for the 5 seconds. This is the continuous process, right? So in case the net is dropped, network is dropped
Only
from
one
the
thing.
system, then it is going to come back. And here, if you like to send the email, that is yes, mailx command, you can use it and you can send the mail. That is different story. But yes, it is going to say that site is down. Yeah, they ask you like how to write a script to verify that the site is up and running or not. The site is nothing but here is the google.com. Or if you have this riseandShineTechnologies.com, yes, I can place it at riseandShineTechnologies.com. In case the site is down, then I can get that email notification. I can write it the script and I can define in my server. Then in case the riseandShineTechnologies.com is down, I will get the notification. Getting the point of this?
Yeah, sir, understood.
Can you explain that while condition means ping -c1 google.com
if
one
you have
time.
this, if you have this kind of the commands, what you can do this is during the lab. So first, you know that ping -c1 and google.com.
That output I know, sir.
Yeah. So just what you can do is just first run that command. Okay, it is returning that output. Fine. But what about this dev null with greater than? Already we discussed.
Nullify that, right?
So it is not going to return that the output. Nowhere output. Don't catch that output. So we are redirecting to the device null. Device null is nothing but don't catch it to anywhere. By default, it is redirecting that output to the terminal. Or if you would like to redirect to the file, yes, you can define the file name. So greater than, and the file name, if you give it file name dot out. Already we discussed this one in the redirections. Yeah, so now it is what it is going to do that. So it is going to write to the file dot out to that output. But I don't want to return that to the terminal, and I don't need this output. Why do I need it? I need just a status. So I don't want to catch that command output nowhere. That is device null. Null is nothing but nothing, empty. I mean, that is meaning is, the null. Nothing, I mean, it doesn't contain anything. So the ping command output, we are not going to catch that. That is a meaning. But status while is going to use it. So $? If it returns that the 0, then it is going to enter the loop. Then if the $? Returns other than the 0, then it is exiting that. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, whenever you have the scripts, I mean, the next time I'm going to talk it some more big scripts. But each and every line output, that is the difficult. So what you can do is whenever you don't understand, whenever you are observing, not only here, any script you are working that, suppose you don't understand that, then take that command and try to run it the line by line. Then you will be knowing that's okay, what's happening there exactly. Or next I will talk about some debugging mechanisms. Yes, use that debugging mechanism, then it is going to clearly shows that what's going to happen that whenever you run that program at interpreter level. So that is, we'll come back to that. Yeah, these are all like learning things, but during the learning, yes, directly the command sometimes is already we discussed this one, but yeah, the remember point of view, that's not possible immediately. Yeah, so if you have that kind of, then you know this command output, but you don't know this. Then yeah, try to run it, this command separately on the shell. Then you will be knowing that exactly what's clearly. Good, you can try this script and you can work it. But this is, the site is the down, then it is exiting. If the site is okay, then it is keep on running that. Even the site is down also, I need to send the notification and I need to wait some time. And then again re-verify that. So if you have this, then within the while loop, while true, we will define it. While true, that is, yes, here like this. It is keep on running that. But within the condition, we'll define it. So first we run this command, and this command return the 0. Then, okay, echo Google, the Google is still up, and we will wait for that, the 5 minutes or 2 minutes, or whatever the time interval. Then again, we'll verify that's the command. Now suppose if the command returns that's non-zero, then else block will implement it, which sends the mail and as well as sleep sometime. Are you clear this point? Suppose this one you need to handle that, keep on checking that, the site reach quality. Then how do you handle this script? So instead of defining the condition over here, we just mark it this while true. That means always true.
While true. Infinite loop.
Infinite loop, yes, exactly. Then here we will write or run that command, and we use it if, and we know about it status, that is $question mark. If you are able to write this statement, then you will get the job on the shell, definitely. That is equals the 0, or directly use it about that instead of the string, then use it equals we are using, that is a numeric base, right? Then use these two statements here. Else Then use it mail command. We have the mail X, so to send the mails on the Linux system. So just refer that command, send the mail, then sleep again for the 5 seconds. Yeah, so this is keep on checking that every 5 seconds. My site is, so here instead of the google.com, if I say that riseandshinetechnologies.com, rms.com, that's full, the site, whatever I have. If I define like this, and if I take this script, if I run it my the application wherever it is running on the Linux system, then in case my site is the down, I will get that immediately the mail. Until that is up, I'm going to keep on getting the mail notifications every time interval what you have defined here. Normally 5 seconds instead of the 5 seconds, something 3 minutes or the 4 minutes which we use that metric. Are you clear about these points? See, initially we started one line, that is the shebang understanding. Now with variables understanding, condition-based statements understanding, iterations understanding, special variables understanding, operators understanding, commands, yes, Linux commands, whatever we were understanding, those commands are all are helping us, right? As per the requirement to implement it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should know the commands also. If you don't know the command, how do I ping the system? That is a network, whatever we discussed. Then you cannot write it. Even if you know that while loop or this if else, then you cannot do that. Then you need to refer the Google. Okay, all the commands that is not possible anyway, but some, yes, at least the basic things. Now initially, like I mean, whenever we start the Linux, for the DevOps engineer is enough that 20 to 30 commands. If you'd like to automate like this, is it enough? Maybe we had it one discussion. So the around we have the 20 or 30, that is it enough, or do we need that more question something? But now if you remember that all those points, like the concepts of the Linux, almost we got it more than 70 or 80 commands. Right? Is it clear?
Yep, sir. Clear.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yeah, good. So this, I mean, yeah, you need to know the commands, and as well as we should know that the variables management, that is the special variables and about our custom variables defining, and how do we read these variables, and in the condition based, how do we write it the condition that is on the base of the string or numeric based or relational based, boolean based, the boolean logical and logical or, those are all awesome. You can do the magics with that, right? That is a single line of the statements. Instead of doing that these many lines, yes, if you convert this one into that, yes, this is returned. So you can define this one in the condition. If this is successful, that means you can do that. But if you have the 2 or more statements, then you cannot use it that. Even you can use it. That's with suppose how you can convert this one is. Suppose if this command is successful.
Can we use a ternary operator, sir?
Sorry.
Can we use a ternary operator? Means if condition is being checked, statement 1 will be true. If it is returning true, statement 1 will be printed, or else the statement 2 will be printed. In general programming, can we use that over here also?
Yeah, yes, this is the one, right? If the statement is true, then executing these statements or else executing these statements.
Yes, sir. Rather than writing in this conditional loop, we can write in a single line.
Yeah, that is we are talking about it, right? Ampersand options. Yeah, now I'm just talking about it, that point. The logical and logical OR operators are helpful. Suppose if this is the true, what we are expecting that is, we need to run the two commands. What are those two commands? Okay, so echo print this, semicolon, and one more command, sleep 5. Okay, if this is the true, then this will be executed. If both are the true, that's fine. But if something is wrong, then it is coming to the else block, and this block again define that the mailx command, that statement, and one more statement also we need to multiple statements. Yeah, with the semicolon separated within the double curly braces, you can define. Yeah, so this also works replacing this one. Is it clear? Yes, if this returns a status code 0, then this is the true is nothing but second statements also. It is trying to exporting that, and if the here echo and the sleep, yes, this is also true. True and true, then it doesn't come to this one. Then again go back to here, and again it comes to this checking this, and yes, waiting. Suppose in case this is the false, if it is the false is nothing but this statement is also false. That means this entire statement is the false. Whenever this is the false, then it is going to come back to this statement, and it waits for that, sending the mail, and waits for the 5 seconds. Again, it goes back. Is it clear?
Sir, here it should be square brackets or curly braces. Here, ampersand after.
Yeah, this is the square brackets. Here you are defining the multiple statement. This is not the condition. We are executing the statements, right?
Oh, yes, sir. So that should, it is correct only with curly braces.
Yeah, it is correct only.
Okay, if we want to write condition, then square brackets.
Yeah, condition should be defined within the square brackets.
Okay.
But normal statements, multiple statements, if you like to define it in this single line of the statement, you can use it, this option.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the canary representation. Okay, this model you are asking that. Okay, the condition, the question mark assigned to this state, in this variable are assigned to that another variable. That is normally the Python syntax. I didn't check it on the shell, but with the programming approach, with the double curly braces, we can do this one also. But interpreter converting into the programming, we can do that. That's one also. But directly the shell interpreter is supporting it or not, I'm not sure. But you can define this statement in the double curly braces and you can implement it. As we were talking that before, some arithmetic operators, right? So if you like to execute a double parenthesis defining that. So with that approach, we can do it. Yeah. So is it clear about these points? Yeah, next two more options we have in this iterations itself. That is terminating the scripts or handling that infinite loops. Handling infinite loops. So what about this handling the infinite loops? So suppose while true, and if I define this statement, so if I define this while true and then done, then what's going to happen? That this is infinitive, or is it like exiting that any particular condition?
Infinite loops.
So this is infinitely. But I would like to terminate this infinite loop on the basis of some condition. So what is the condition? Condition that could be some XYZ. Suppose you are looking that or you are searching the list of all the files. If the file is found, we are happy. Exit that. Why do you want to continue the next files verification? Or you are trying to print that the range 1 to 100, but whenever it reaches the 50, okay, then or suppose you have the some lines of the files. Suppose let me go for that. Suppose you are trying to read that the file etc password. So this file content you are reading, and you are reading about it IFS field separator with a colon, reading that the columns. The first field, what is the field? User field, and like that you have defined all the list of all the fields. Suppose now I need to check it whether the user is available or not. If the user is there, and if that user is defined with the type of the shell is bin bash, we are happy. But here it is, it is not like infinite. So it is having some specific limit, right? If the users contain the 50, then 50 times it is iterating. So these are all normal cases, yes, which we can use that. But whenever we are doing that, this kind of the true statements are infinite loops. Yes, if the particular condition is reached, then we need to exit the loop. Then how do you do that, or what is the statement that is available is break. If the condition is true, then if you apply the break, then that loop which will be exited. From that loop, the processor will be exited. I'll talk at some examples. Next one is one more statement which we use it in the infinite loops, that is a continue. What is the continue meaning of it? Suppose we have those like some DB1 and DB2, DB3 like that, different databases.
Sir, if we want to do some sort of search in multiple lines, and suppose in one scenario, if we want to search a string in a file, sir, if we got the string in the third line or fourth line, and even if we want to search for the remaining lines, then we can go for a content.
Yeah, we can use it the break, no issues. If the file is found or string is found, then you can use it the break statement.
Okay.
Not only just infinite, but anyway here, how you can handle that situation is, so instead of going to the while loop, you can directly use the grep, right? Grep, and suppose vagrant user, I'm verifying that in the etc password. So it is going to return that, right? That the vagrant user is available or not. I don't need to use the while, entire while, okay, the iterating that, reading the file. That means you are loading that some content into the memory. That means the processor is going to consume that, the resource consumption. Simply use the grep command. If this is successful, that means user found. So you can use that next statement, the user available. Getting the point of this? Instead of using the while loop and loading the file content and reading that each and every field. Yes, if you have the multiple conditionals on the fields of the user, then you can use it, this notation. Definitely, that's going to help with that. But user, is it available or not? Just to check it, yes, you can directly use that. The string, already you are understanding the grep options. Grep -I, even the ignore case, the vagrant from this file. If this statement exit status with 0, then the user is available. Simply you can handle that. Yeah, that is on the base of the use case and the scenario which we have. Either you need to use that with the grep options, or either you need to use it the while loop, reading the field separators, and within the field separators, handling with the the terminating that the loops, or you have these kind of infinite loops, or within that infinite loops, if some condition has met it, then okay, exit the loop. So on the basis of the scenarios or the use cases which you are implementing, you need to use the approach. But break is, yes, you have some that like infinite loops and some condition which has been met it, and if you would like to exit from that, then you can use the break. Suppose let me talk about that example for it. First, let me run this script and let me execute it. Then with that execution, we'll understand that what exactly is happening. This is the break statement to understand it. Okay, whenever we run the script, it is asking that the user, do you want to show me the disk usage, or do you want to see the uptime of the system? What do you want to, or which choice that do you want to use it that? Suppose user enters the 1. Then why it is exited, it has to, that means the script, the pattern, dollar choice we are using. Dollar choice in pattern 1. Okay, so this is the while true. This is the infinite loop which is going to have it, and it is asking that the user enter the show disk usage and show uptime. And if you enter the 1, so if that 1 is pattern is matched, it has to execute the DFF and H. But it is dollar choice. Is it correct? Case. Let me remove the semicolon one more time. Okay, but it is not at all executing that, right? It is coming to this pattern and it is exiting that. That means whatever we are trying to enter it is not taking that. Yeah, let's use it one more time. Let me check it now. If I enter that 1, yeah. So there is some syntax issue. So whenever the user is asking that the 1, we are trying to run the dff and h command. Show disk usage. Or suppose he would like to see that uptime of the system. Yes, 2, he enters that. Yes, when the system was started, so 1 day before about. And that's the one user and what is the load average. That's we have all the details it is showing that. Okay, now user completed his task. Because this is the infinite, right? It is not ending that. But user, if you enter this 1 or 2, it has to continue. But remaining any other option, the choice, if we have chosen that, then it has to be exited that entire loop. Otherwise, it is a continuous loop. It is infinite loop now. Until you are entering that 1 and 2, it is keep on continuing that. But if I enter the something 4, yes, it is exited. So that means remaining all the cases, remaining other conditions, other choices, it has to break that loop. That is a breaking. So the break, when do we use it is if that particular condition is reached, then we are breaking that loop, simple. So this is the while true, this is the infinite loop. There is no condition is applied on the while. This is the infinite loop. But internal, we are handling the condition. Internal, we are handling the condition. If the condition is met, if you like to break it, yes, you can break it. So what is the keyword we can use it? The break. So if it is a one pattern is matched, we are running this command. If it is a two pattern is matched, uptime. But remaining any other choices? That means he is okay with the script and he would like to exit the script. Is it clear about that, the break statement? Everyone, the say the C, or okay, yes, also fine. Okay. The next another infinite loops to handle, that is continue. When do we use the continue? In which context do we use the continue? Suppose, as I was talking about it, here I have this database 1, database 2, database 3, some list of all the databases. So what is the condition we have is, yeah, we have some cron job which has been defined to take this database backups. Maybe database backups taking that, sometimes it is going to get failed because of that the high size the data point of view, the large size of the data point of view. Sometimes it is going to get failed to the backup. So every 3 hours or the 4 hours, some interval, we need to keep on running the database backup script. So first, this database, if the database backup is already taken that day, that means if the database already taken, then again don't take it, continue to the next database. Check it about that, is it already taken the backup or not? This is not taken, then take the backup. That means apply the backup command. Okay, once this is done, then continue to the next database. And this database, check it whether it has been taken the backup or not. If it is already taken, then don't take it that. Then exit that. So if the particular condition met, sometimes we need to skip the current iteration. We need to skip the current statements of the true. Yes, if the database backup has been already taken, then don't execute the statements. Then move to the next database. If it is not taken, okay, take it. Or if this also taken, then don't take it. That means continue to the next database if you have anything. But we don't have the database, then entire loop will be exited. So if you have this kind of the requirement, then how do we handle that is continue. If the backup is already available, that condition. If that is a true, then we'll continue to the next iteration. That is next database checking. If this condition is a false, okay, then take the backup off. One that is done. Okay, next go to this, take this database and check the condition. Is it already database backup taken or not? Yes, if it is already taken, then skip that. So you are doing the iterations, and in that iteration, and you need to skip some kind of the conditionals. I mean, there's some kind of condition based the current iteration. Then you can use it. This one, that is continue. Let me quickly explain that example. Yeah, so how do you take the list of all the databases from the MySQL is, yes, this is the command. It is going to return that list of all the databases. The MySQL client. Now this output we are passing to the while command. Read. We are reading that all this output and we are assigning to the DB variable. And now while loop started here and it has been ended here. Yeah, so here, I mean, you need to handle that database already taken or not. If it is already not taken, then take the database backup. Some functions. Okay, it has been implemented one function. DB already taken the recently or not. By passing this database, it is going to return the true or false. If it is already taken the backup, it is going to return the true. That means you need to implement this kind of the function, that is database backup point of view. I'll talk it about some backups. How do we implement it? Some functions in the function section. So let's assume that this is the function which has been implemented and it is checking about the database is already taken the backup or not. So if this function returns true, then this database, current database, which has been already taken, then continue to the next database. Then again, the next database is verifying that. But this time, this function returns the false. That means this is not satisfied this condition. Then it is coming to here, taking the backup. As backup of whatever the functionality that is required. Yeah, there is a MySQL, some scripts, commands are available. That script you need to export it in this function. So like this, if you have the scenario, if the particular condition is true, then you need to skip it, the current iteration, and you need to move to the next element or next iteration. Skipping the current iteration, how do you handle that is a continue. And exiting the entire loop in the particular condition, then which we use the break. So whether you are going to use it in infinite loops or normal loops. So here this is the normal loop, right? This is not the infinite loop. As a number of databases which are there, if the databases are the 3, then 3 times it is iterating that. But within that iteration, it is checking about. Yes, if this condition is met, then continue to the next. Else, do some activity. Here, this is not for the infinite loop. That's normal loop. Even the normal loop also, we can apply that this break and continue. But that is on the basis of the scenario. Is it clear about this? The continue and break statements to handle that break is exiting the loop on the basis of the condition. Continue is skipping the current iteration and iterating the next element. But it is not exiting the entire loop. It is just current iteration will be skipped and it is moved to the next iteration. That is a continuous step. Yeah, so this is all about understanding the iterations with the for loop and the while loop. Are you clear about these points? Yeah, if you're good, just type that, I mean, quickly, that's yes or clear. Yeah, today we spent some additional time. That's good. Yeah, so try to take it all these scenarios and try to work with that, understanding about the for loops, while loops, and if condition. Yes, if you are implementing even the iterations, also conditionals important. Conditionals with operators. Yeah, to handle that proper exiting of the loops. And the status codes are going to play important roles. Logical Boolean operators, or yeah, string operators, file operators. Yeah. So all the stuff that is required to understand it, to handle this, and variables, special variables, exit, and case statements. Yes, in the if else, like we have another approach, and here already we are using that, the case and the stack. Just now in this, so disk usage and show up time. So here we are using that case stack itself. Yeah, on the basis of the use cases, and you should have the clarity about it. What do we have overall? Yeah, so tomorrow we start about the functions. This is another important concept. And after that, we have the how do we troubleshoot the shell scripting. Now we are thinking, yes, first that is required. But we have some mechanisms which are helping easily to analyze it, what exactly is happening during executing the time. Thus, we can analyze it with the debugging options. And then I will give you some real-time examples which you can refer that. Yeah, so that's all from my side for today. And any queries, questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we will wind up today. Okay, cool. I'm going to the log off for today. Yes. I'll meet tomorrow and we'll continue. Thank you everyone. But try to do that the practice about all these, and yeah, the syntaxes and all that. That requires some patience working with all this. But cases, the different use cases whenever you are practicing, then it gives a more confidence. Yeah, thank you all.